Game lovers, game masters, and game fuckers. Yeah, they do exist and they want you to respect them. You should not judge them. As a matter of fact, we together right here today will decide should we even care about them anymore or not. So relax, grab your deck, and get ready to play with it for like 10 minutes. If you think it will last that long. And let's get into what is exactly happening with Ubisoft. And shame on you for thinking what you were thinking. I know exactly what you were thinking about. And you should be ashamed of yourself. I meant your Steam decks, not your decks. Yeah, let's get into it. So around a month ago or so, we had reports coming in that Ubisoft lost something like 20% equivalent to 1/5 of their value, and their stocks are sinking, shrinking, and bleeding real bad, like real bad. According to IGN, Ubisoft has announced a buyback program in order to prevent French media conglomerate. It's a hard word. I think you get the idea. I hope you understood what I'm saying. That one. Vivendi from taking over the company. So basically, what shareholders are doing, they're playing hot potato with Ubisoft's stocks. They don't want it. No one wants it. They're just like keep passing it around, and Ubisoft are the ones who had to end up with them. They're like, if no one wants them, we're just gonna take them back. I knew Ubisoft are gonna be in trouble soon because almost everything that they've been doing in the past few years has gone to shit so bad. I loved Watch Dogs 1. The second one was bad. The third one, I didn't even bother buying it. I loved Far Cry 2. I loved Far Cry 3. I tried to love Far Cry 4. I didn't finish Far Cry 5. I didn't buy Far Cry 6. Next up, we have Assassin's Creed. And trust me, Ubisoft fucked this one in the ass too. So, up until Assassin's Creed Unity, I played, loved, and finished every single game in this series. But then from Assassin's Creed Syndicate, it was just too much Assassins every year, all over again. It wasn't a bad game. I just didn't want to play one more Assassin's game, to be honest. And then they took that whole RPG route. The developers talked about that they took some ideas from the Witcher games. And honestly, I think that's a very poor decision because taking a storytelling ideas from the Witcher games, to me, is as good as copying Witcher and leaving what identifies you as Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed had really good parkour, had really good combat, had decent story every time, had really beautiful looking graphics every time, from the Middle Eastern cities in the beginning of the franchise to that Havana thing in Black Flag to Paris to London. Every time the games looked gorgeous. And then they took that whole RPG route. They lost identity. They lost touch. It didn't even look that good, to be honest. I think still Unity looks better than Odyssey, or in case of a scale, yeah, Odyssey is bigger, of course. But I mean, like in the detail, in the fidelity of what you see, of how realistic it looks, I think Unity is still the best looking game in the series, and a little bit underrated too, because Unity is mainly known for its bugs, and even in my thumbnail I used one of them, but that game was actually a sight to be seen. Are these games loved less because they're RPG games? I don't think so. Bullshit. These games are loved less because Ubisoft went for their pockets and gave a big, huge, fat middle finger to all the gamers who loved and appreciated Assassins for what it was. They were like, you come here, pay $60 for my game, you go home, you try to play it. I have filled and bloated it with bullshit stuff that no one can enjoy. And if you want to experience the core experience, then you have to give me some more money. Then I'll cut the bullshit out and then you can play the game. Maybe some 15-year-olds will go and take their dad's credit card and do that, but I don't think any person who has made a penny themselves will do that to their own money. They said we are gonna take ideas from The Witcher, but did Witcher do that? Witcher gave 9 free updates after the launch of the game. Free of charge, they gave it like every once or 2 months for free. They were like, go ahead, enjoy your game. You paid for it already. You paid us, so we're gonna pay you back. We're gonna give you content. We're gonna give you content to enjoy. And look where Witcher is right now. After almost 10 years, it got its PS5 and Xbox Series port, and I think it made a lot of money for CDPR. I'm not saying a game like Assassin's Creed Valhalla didn't make enough money for Ubisoft because that game made $1 billion for them. Just imagine $1 fucking billion. That's a huge amount of money. But imagine That shitty game, that shitty Assassin's Creed Valhalla game, made them $1 billion. Imagine how much money they could make out of it if that game was actually a good game. And now God knows how much of that $1 billion has gone to Skull and Bones, which has been in development hell for, again, God knows how long. But I don't understand why we don't get a Rayman game. The last Rayman game that came was in 2013, I think. And people love that game. It's a beautiful game. Rayman Legends sold over 1 million copies, which I think for a game of its class is really good. I don't know why Ubisoft doesn't go for it again. Not long before that, Rayman Origins came, and that sold very good too. And people loved it. It got like good reviews. Everything was good with those two entries in the series. And then Ubisoft just stopped. They kept releasing more assassins, more Far Cry games. Oh my god, Far Cry 6, I didn't even want to watch its trailers. Like it's the same thing over and over and over again. Like, aren't you tired? Like, aren't the developers of those games tired? I actually can swear to God, the devs of those games are begging Ubisoft, let us create something new. Let us do something with our creativity. Let us do something with our talent. Just like how Microsoft let Tango Gameworks to do something with their creativity and they made Hi-Fi Rush. I think the biggest problem Ubisoft is facing right now is the fact that everything is micromanaged from top to bottom. Everything is micromanaged. Make this game, make it this long, monetize it this way. This thing should be included. Copy that like gaming niche and put it in there. Gaming doesn't work that way. You have to give freedom to your studios. You have to give freedom to your developers. Otherwise, because those people are everything they have is their creativity, and if you take it that away from them, then you end up with a game like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which I don't think anyone wants to end up with that. In the past 5 years, I can say I liked one of their games very much. That was Immortals Phoenix Rising. And that was one of the only games that they actually gave freedom, that they actually became the old Ubisoft that they were for that game. They even delayed it enough for the game to become playable, to become quality. And then they were like, okay, now you can release it. And they were actually giving enough freedom to the developing team to make it. And it came out. It sold very good too. And I think a sequel should come, and it should get announced. I think sometime soon, maybe relatively, like maybe next year, maybe next year. With all that being said, I don't think it's all going south for Ubisoft right now because remember, Capcom was in the same situation a few years ago. And then after Monster Hunter World, they came back. That game was a huge success for them. They continued with rebooting the Resident Evil franchise, continued with the remaking of the old games that people loved, and then again, Monster Hunter Rise, big success for them, being ported to other consoles other than the Switch, huge sales again. Resident Evil Village VR coming after the PlayStation VR 2 comes, you see jackpot after jackpot, and they are making a lot of money. I was reading a report a few days ago that 2023 can be Capcom's biggest year in terms of sales. They're making a lot of money and they're doing it by being Capcom. That's what Ubisoft should do. Ubisoft should case study Capcom and learn how to come back. You cannot come back by trying to be Epic Games. You cannot come back by trying to be Bungie, which is a part of Sony right now, by the way. You're not allowed to destroy your parkour in one of your biggest franchises just because Zelda had another thing going on and people liked it. Yeah, people liked that, but people liked your traversal too, a lot. And you just ignored all of your fans by copying Zelda's traversal into your game. It destroyed a very good parkour system and they just made you able to climb anything anywhere. Bottom line, what I want to say is that if Ubisoft just starts to make good games and become Ubisoft again, what they were in 2007 to 2015 ish, people are gonna buy their games, they're gonna be successful, people are gonna love them. And one thing I learned in the gaming industry, it has a very short memory. Even if you were really good for, I don't know, 10 years, if you mess up for 2 years, then no one remembers what you were 10 years ago. And it goes the other way around too. If Ubisoft actually starts to make good decisions and release quality games, then people are gonna buy them and no one will remember what they did from 2015 to almost 2023. Another good take out of this whole situation is the fact that when things started to go down for them, they didn't cancel their single player games. They canceled some of their games as a service games in development. So maybe they are starting to notice that they don't have to go that route. If some companies went that route and they had success, it doesn't mean that Ubisoft necessarily also has to go in that way. Because let's face it, they were super successful as they were. Yeah, in conclusion, I want to say that they have some big games coming in 2023. We have Assassin's Creed Mirage, Skull and Bones. I never liked that game. Every time I see the trailers, I want to cry. But you never know. They delayed it again. They delay games when they have hope to make it better. Honestly, if they released it in February with the last trailer I saw from the game, I don't think anyone in their right mind, if they were not high, I don't think anyone would pay a penny for that game. I don't know. But they delayed it. So here's hoping that the game actually fixes some of the issues it had, and it can come out as a good
Move
game.
into
They
your
have
line of
Avatar
fire.
coming out right after the
Rabbit
success of the
Peach and the
movie.
mysterious
They
rabbit
have
newcomer
a
Edge
new
can
Star
attack
Wars
around
game
cover
coming
with a salvo of rockets
in an
and a
open
giant
world setting.
spinning blade,
They
respectively,
have a lot of
while
stuff
Rabbit
coming in
Luigi can bounce his
2023 and
disruptor
onwards.
between multiple enemies.
If
Rabbit
they can
Mario's
actually
power
do these
gauntlets
games in
make
a
him a
Ubisoft
devastating
way,
melee
I
combatant
believe they
and
can succeed.
counterpuncher,
I believe
and
they
his
can come
fists
back
can
just the
reach
way that
longer
Capcom did.
distances as he
But
levels
if
up.
they keep going for that cash cow, if
Not
they
all new
keep going
abilities
for that
deal
Fortnite,
damage.
if they keep
Peach,
going for
for
that,
example,
I don't
packs
know,
not only
Destiny,
a shotgun-like
that's not
boombrella,
Ubisoft.
but can also create a
You
team
should do
barrier to
what
grant
you do the
full
best,
damage
and
immunity
that's
from
not
the
what
next
Ubisoft
few hits to
does the
any
best.
heroes in range.
I hope you
And
enjoyed
Rabbit
today's
Rosalina,
video.
who will
I'm gonna
spray
come back
hails of
sometime
bullets
soon
through
with
her
high
own
five
cover as well as the
rushes
enemies, can bore nearby
review.
foes into
I
a
haven't finished that
defenseless
game
stupor
yet,
with the
so
power
give
of
me some more
ennui.
time.
These
And yeah,
abilities
thank
can
you so
all
much for
become more
listening.
powerful
Please
depending on how
like
you build out
if
your
you liked my
hero's
video,
individual skill
subscribe
trees,
if you
and
like
learning to effectively
to
use
see
them
more
together
videos
can
like
be
this.
the key
I'm
to
gonna
winning a
improve
quick
them,
victory
I
and to
hope.
building a killer team.
And yeah,
Want
take
to
care.
send an
Bye bye.
indestructible